Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another meeting where we will discuss the Buddhist practices of charity, morality, and meditation. Everyone who is interested is welcome to join. Tonight we'll start with Willie from Indonesia. Willie?
Yes, good evening, Ajahn. Today I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, Nanapat from Thailand.
นมัสการค่ะท่านอาจารย์ค่ะ Today I would like to inform ท่านอาจารย์ that this coming Saturday the 3rd of December I plan to go to Wat Yan ค่ะ to pay respect and listen to the Dhamma หน้ากุฏิค่ะท่านอาจารย์ I have no question ค่ะ
Okay, see you then.
ค่ะ see you
Christine Coe from Penang.
Good evening, Long Pa. I have no question. Thank you.
Okay, Professor Kenneth from Switzerland. Long time no see.
Good afternoon, Tanajan. I've been keeping a low profile in the background recently.
Good. Anything tonight?
Yeah, I would just like to ask for your advice on one thing. I've found over recent times that I have an increasing sense of detachment from worldly things, especially like work or social interaction, where if these things happen, I just find I'm there, but observing and not really, I don't find the energy coming up to become enthusiastic about these things. To me, it feels okay, but I just wanted to check if that is normal.
The feeling of dispassion, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because you start to see the impermanence of things. Things are just temporary, they just come and they go. They're like bubbles. They're not real, really. But if you don't reflect or think about it, you think they are real. But in fact, they're just temporary existence and temporary things. And you cannot cling on to anything in this world. They're like bubbles. So the more detached you become, the better, because the less stress or sadness you will have. Because if you cling or you attach to something, when they change or when they disappear, they can cause you to become sad, unhappy, or depressed. So the wisdom or the insight of the three characteristics will make the mind to become more dispassionate. The more you reflect, the more you understand the nature of things, and the less you will become attached, less passionate.
Yeah.
This is what you should try to do with everything.
Okay.
All the time, if possible. Because every time you come into involve or contact with anything, you should remind yourself that you're dealing with bubbles.
Yeah. Okay. It seems like a lot of people.
But you still do things, you still work, you still do whatever you need to do. But in the end, it doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. Does anybody take anybody with him when he goes?
No.
We don't take anything with us when we go. We leave everything behind, even our body.
Yeah.
And if we attach, if we dilute it, we leave it with sadness. But if we are not deluded, we leave it with happiness. Buddha said to be rid of all these things is just supreme happiness. Sapphe sankhara anicca, all conditioned things are temporary. They rise and cease, they come and go. To be free from attachment from this thing is the supreme bliss. This is usually a chant monks use during funeral. When the monk go perform funeral, they'll chant this verse. Anicca vata sankhara upadavaya dhammino upachitawa nirucchanti te sang upasamo sukho. All sankhara, all conditioned things, rise and cease. To be free from attachment from this thing is supreme bliss. So try not to be attached to anything. All sensual objects, body, feelings, everything that the mind come into contact with, they are all illusion. They are not real. They come and go. You cannot force them or control them. They are all work of nature. There's only one thing that's remained with the mind is the bliss that you get from detachment, from letting go. This will stay with the mind forever. This is what we want.
Okay.
So you have to constantly reflect on anicca and anatta. Anicca, things are temporary, things keep changing or disappear. Anatta, they are not under anybody's control. They are work of nature, natural phenomena. We think we can control our body, but we know only to a certain extent, right? Beyond that, it's just not possible to tell the body to remain young and strong forever. But this is what all we want. Everybody always pray for, longevity, good health. So we just have to be realistic. It's not pessimistic to think of getting old, getting sick and dying. It's realistic. But people look at it as pessimistic. Buddha teaches the truth, reality. Aging, sickness, and death. This is reality. This is the truth, the supreme truth of suffering. And the cause of our birth comes from our cravings. We need to have a body in order to satisfy our craving. We have this craving for sensual objects, sensual pleasure. So we need to have a body to achieve this. But then the body is a temporary thing. It doesn't last forever. You get old, get sick and die. That's when dukkha comes around, when the body becomes old, becomes sick, and when you cannot use the body to satisfy your cravings anymore. So you don't want to go this route. You want to stop your craving for sensual pleasure, craving for being, craving for non-being. In short, not to reborn again. By meditation, to find peace and happiness from meditation. And then you can then let go of your cravings of sensual pleasure, because you have an alternative way of making yourself happy. Once you can do that, then you can stop your cravings. Then you won't have to have any more rebirth. We've been reborn so many times before. Our tears could fill the ocean from our suffering. And we will go on like this forever unless we come across the teaching of the Buddha and took up his teaching, took up the challenge presented to us. Okay, good enough.
That's very clear, Tanajan. Thank you very much for your guidance.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mittal and Minnie from India.
Yes,
You were here a few weeks ago, huh?
yes, Tanajan. That's me. This is my mother.
I see.
A
Go ahead.
question,
Go ahead.
a question I've had is when I'm able to develop a nice place of concentration, I want to hold on to it and keep it going for as long as possible. But then social interactions happen and social obligations pull me out of it. And then I'm not being able to get back into it and starting to feel depressed and starting to feel sad about that. So I wondered if you can offer some advice on that.
Well, you have to figure out what caused you to lose your concentration. That is your social interaction. So if you want to maintain your concentration, then you have to stop your social interaction.
Right.
Simple as that. So you have to live in seclusion, live alone.
Yeah.
You have to become a monk eventually. If you
Yeah.
want to maintain continuous concentration.
Yeah.
Like the Buddha, he has to leave the palace. Because if he lives in the palace, he would have all this social interaction to deal with every day. So he took off. This is the path for those who want to develop spiritual perfection, spiritual peace, spiritual happiness. You have to let go of all your social interaction. The Buddha said, don't cling, don't agree, what you call it, can't think of, don't socialize, yeah. Try to stay alone. Because then you can maintain your concentration continuously.
Right.
So you have now you know the problem, so you have to find a way of solving this problem. How to get yourself out of all this social interaction.
Yeah. I start getting lonely as well, then it's on both sides, when I'm well concentrated, I'm happy to be alone. And when I'm not, I start missing people and and then it's like both things.
Then you should try to bring your concentration back.
Yeah.
Because if you follow your sadness, then you have to leave your seclusion and go interact with people. And then once you do that, you start to miss your concentration again. So you're just going back and forth like a ping pong ball. When you're alone, you feel lonely. So you want to interact with people. But when you interact with people, you feel not good. You want to be alone. So you have to decide what you want and then try to cannot have your cake and eat it too, This is the question that everybody has to answer. Once they find the answer, then they feel a sense of relief. This is the hardest question to answer. Which path should I take? The worldly path that I used to, or the spiritual path? So before you can decide, you have to have enough practice to to make sure that once you're alone, you can continue on with your practice. But if your practice is still off and on, this can be a problem when you're alone. When your practice is down, you can feel lonely, and your defilements will consume your mind to the point where you wanted to go back. We just recently lost a monk. He came and he wanted to devote the remaining of his life for practice. He gave up his job and everything. But after he been ordained for just a few months, he just no longer do it. So he eventually had to disrobe. This is something like climbing the mountain. Once you start climbing, you cannot stop. If you don't get to the top, you cannot stop. Only when you get to the top, then you can stop your practice, your climbing. Because as soon as you stop, the gravity will start to pull your body down. As soon as you stop, your defilement will start to pull you back toward the worldly life. So this is something you have to prepare yourself before you make your final decision. One thing that can help you is you're constantly contemplating on the impermanent nature of the worldly life. Things don't last. And your body is getting older and older. The Buddha saw an old man, a sick man, and a dead man, and a monk. So he finally decided this is the message that he needed to push him to become a monk. You have to constantly think of your body, yourself, your body. Eventually it's going to get old, get sick, and die. Then you won't be able to enjoy your worldly life anyway. This will push you to do more practice, do more meditation. Right now, maybe you can do it on a temporary basis. Go seek seclusion for a while, then come back, then go back again, back and forth, until you become strong enough to live forever. Then you don't come back. Okay. Your mother has any question?
I want to know the options for
Could you speak louder, please?
the path for me. The options for experiencing monastic life for me.
You just have to go stay there, stay in the monastery to experience it and to find out whether you like it or not. You don't have to be a permanent resident when you start it. You can go there and stay temporarily 7 days, 10 days, and see how you like it.
Could you suggest any names of such monasteries?
It depends on, you mean in Thailand or in your country? I don't know any more places in your country. But in Thailand, you can read a guidebook called A Guide to Meditation Monastery in Thailand. Search for the book. And I'll tell you. I think it's published by the World Fellowship of Buddhists or something. I used this book when I started looking for a place to ordain. A guide to Buddhist monastery or something like that in Thailand. And you can read the description of each monastery.
Okay.
Okay.
Online. Okay. Yeah.
All right, Mito, anything more?
Thank you so much.
One more question. Thank you for offering. Is I face some difficulty with sexual desire and how to work with that, and I've been doing body contemplation, and that leads to mental states of aversion and disgust, and I'm wondering how I can make that better.
Your mind is not ready for it yet if you have aversion. So you need to calm your mind first. You need to have some samadhi first.
Okay.
Samadhi is the basis of the development of wisdom.
Okay.
So if you contemplate on the 32 parts or the 10 corpses and you have aversion, then it means your mind is not yet ready. It's not calm enough. Your defilement is going against your contemplation.
Yeah.
So you have to subdue your defilement by meditation practice first, by samadhi first.
Okay.
To get equanimity. Once you have equanimity, then it will be easy for you to contemplate, because your mind will not react either way, positively or negatively, to the object of your contemplation.
Right.
Because the mind will be neutral. With equanimity, your mind will be neutral, without love or hate, without attraction or aversion.
Right.
So try to develop samadhi first by developing mindfulness, training yourself in mindfulness all day long, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep.
Okay.
Try to stop your mind from thinking. Think only when you have to, when you need to. Otherwise, keep it reciting a mantra or keep watching what your body is doing.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Okay, I can try that. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Next, Alvin from Malaysia.
Good evening, Tanajan. I haven't got any question tonight. Thanks.
Okay, Alfredo from Brazil. Around the world in 60 seconds. Around the world in 3 seconds.
It's okay, Bante.
Yeah. From India to Brazil. How are you?
Brazil. I better. I take medicine, antibiotics
What do
from
you
breath.
do?
From my breath.
Uh-huh.
I had pneumonia.
Pneumonia. Okay.
Yes. But okay, now I am better.
Okay. Because of the cold, then you get pneumonia?
No, my breath is not so good. I have a bronchitis.
Bronchitis. Okay.
Yes. Very, very hard, very hard.
You didn't have to go to the hospital.
Yeah, I went to the hospital. The doctor gave antibiotics to me. Very, very, very strong medicine.
Antibiotics.
Yes.
You feel better now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In hospital, other people's is not so good how me. In world, other people is worse off from you, from me.
Yeah, worse than you, huh?
Yes.
Because they don't have mindfulness to protect the mind.
Oh yes. Yeah, they talk about Christianism, about God, né?
Yeah.
It's okay, né? But help the peoples.
Yeah.
Using I talk about samadhi to their peoples, né? Talking the body is not you, not.
That's right. You have wisdom. You have wisdom. teach them the wisdom of the Buddha.
Yes. I talked to two women in medicine home in hospital, né? And they women agree with me.
Good.
They have they don't have anatta.
Anatta. No anatta.
Yeah, anatta they don't have, but they knows about anicca and about dukkha.
Yeah.
Only anatta they don't have.
Right. If they know anatta, then there will be no dukkha.
Yes. But dukkha and anicca, the peoples that agree in God, is equal, né, Bante? Is the same, né? Only anatta is different in Buddhism, né?
Yeah, only Buddhism teach anatta. No other religion teaches anatta.
Yes.
Good.
My practice is okay. My meditation is okay. My hesitation is okay.
You're not afraid. When you get sick, you're not afraid.
No.
Okay.
It's okay.
No, the body is not you, right? It doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. It's a phrase that if you have a proposito, if you have an objective, you have to support the conditions.
Support what?
Support the life.
The life.
Support the problems.
Yeah.
Support the things of life, né, Bante? The life is not only samadhi, né, but the life is the same is you have to have power to win the life, né, Bante? Across the more height. Because in Buddhism there are four requisites, né? House, clothes,
food,
medicine,
and
food, né?
Yeah.
And in social life, when we have to pay bills and etc., you have to do things to support the life.
You have taxes. You have taxes to pay.
Yes. Então, it's two ways, né? Two ways parallels, né? Samadhi and the life.
Okay, but samadhi is more important than the life, than the body.
Yes. The enlightenment is the very important, but the enlightenment.
Right. Enlightenment is the most important thing.
Yes.
Okay, stay enlightened. Okay, anatta all the time. Think of anatta all the time.
Yes, but such all the time.
Okay. Okay, Diana from Wales.
Greetings, Ajahn. My son is in Phuket.
Oh, really?
He's on a jiu-jitsu training course.
Training course? What training?
Like jiu-jitsu.
Oh, jiu-jitsu.
Like, yes.
It's a martial art?
Yes.
I see, okay.
Are you a long way from Phuket?
Yeah, Phuket is down south, maybe about 500 or 600 kilometers from where I am. I'm in the north part. No, I'm in the middle part of Thailand, but Phuket is way down south, almost close to Malaysia, near Malaysia.
Oh.
But it's easy to travel nowadays. They have flight. People can fly every day all across the Thailand. So you want to follow him to Phuket?
Not to Phuket maybe, but it looks very good. They're all very serious, very good food and very strict discipline. So it'll be good for him.
I see.
I was reading this week about what makes up the personality, the rupa, the vedana, sana, sankara, and the jnana, and what makes, and it was about the non-self. I wondered if you could talk a bit about anatta and the non-self a bit more.
Well, personality and the non-self is not the same thing. Personality is something people do and become acquainted with their action. When you do something again and again, it becomes part of your personality. You like something, you dislike something. This is personality based on your repeated action. Let's put it that way. The more you repeat something, that thing then starts to become part of your personality. But why anatta? We are talking about things in general. Everything is, there's no self-contained in everything. Like that, no self in the trees, right? No self in the wind, no self in the water. So there's no self in the body also. This is what it means. But it's our delusion that perceive the body as a self, and because since the mind who perceives the body has no physical appearance, so it takes the body to be itself, because it's born with this body from birth. So this then becomes a self to the mind. But in fact, it's just like a tree, the body.
Yes, I like that, like the wind.
Yeah, like the wind, the water, the weather, anything, everything. Things happen due to conditions. They're not due because someone is moving it, driving it, or something like that. It's just everything is due with condition. Even our body is being conditioned by condition. The body grows because we keep breathing, we keep eating. But then the body has its own nature also, that it is not permanent. It keeps developing, and then when it reaches the peak, it starts to deteriorate, reverse the process. And eventually it will disintegrate back into the four elements. So that there's no body driving this process. It's just natural processes. But the mind is deluded, that have this perception that the body is the mind. Since the mind uses the mind tells the body what to do. So the mind thinks that it is the body. And becomes attached to the body. And this is what the cause of the mind suffering, the mental suffering. Because once you attach to something, you want to keep it, you want to have it, you want it to be in good condition. But nothing remains in good condition for a long time, forever. Everything, even more automobiles, phones you buy, your houses, everything don't remain in good condition forever. They will one day start to break down. So this is the nature of everything. The Buddha said, anicca, they don't last forever. Anatta, this is the natural way of things. Nobody can stop this process.
My sister-in-law, she's very fearful about illness and disease, and it makes her quite unhappy.
Because she doesn't look at the truth. The truth is that nobody escapes sickness. or death. You know, no
Mm.
matter how hard you try to protect yourself, you can still not escape sickness and death eventually. You heard of the story of a millionaire, Howard Hughes, I think. He was so afraid of germs, something, he isolated himself in his own house.
Mm. Mm. And it doesn't make you happy, does it?
No, it makes you're kept captive in your own, by your own delusion, really. You delusion. Instead of being free, be able to go out and enjoy life, you succumb to your fear, your groundless fear. You know, you are not able to accept the truth, the reality of life. If you can accept the reality of life, then you say, so what? You know, I'm gonna get sick, and why should I torture myself to protect myself from this inescapable situation? We look after ourselves, but you know, more in a more realistic way. You know, we protect ourselves whatever we can, whenever we can. But we don't go to the point of paranoia.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So we just have to learn to accept the fact of life, that this body is gonna get old, get sick and die, no matter how well you look after it. Because it's just the way of the body.
Yeah. I have said that. And they laugh.
One consolation truth is that you are not the body. So why should you get upset with the body? When you don't get old, get sick or die. The mind doesn't get old, get sick or die.
So that's the sitta, the knowing self.
That's right. So you have to try to bring yourself back to your knowing self. You're so much involved with your body. Immerse yourself with the body until you and the body becomes one. So now you want to separate the mind from the body by meditation.
Yes.
Okay, so keep practicing mindfulness and meditate.
Thank you.
Then you will slowly move away from your body. All right? Okay. Next, Philip from Malaysia.
Good evening, Tanaja. I don't have any questions tonight. We're glad to be listening in.
Okay. Kok Seng from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn. Tonight I have 2 or 3 questions to ask Ajahn. Our first question is regarding what the advice that you gave Abhijato last week about retreats. So you were advising Abhijato to go for a retreat for 1 month or 1 year or forever. So my question is, first, what is the purpose of going to retreat? The second thing, if we are going to retreat, what are the things that we need to consider when we are choosing the retreat, the place to go for retreat?
Well, meditation retreat is usually a place where they allow you to have time that you can be by yourself. And then you can then develop mindfulness. They have a place for you to be alone. You only meet people only during the meal, for instance. But otherwise, you just have all the time to be yourself, to develop mindfulness or meditate, dependence on which level you are in. If you're beginning, you want to develop mindfulness first. If you have enough mindfulness, then you want to do a lot of meditation. So this is what the purpose of retreat. So that normally if you don't go to retreat, you stay at home, you have to go to work, you have to deal with people, you have to use your thoughts all day long. So you will not be able to develop mindfulness in which you can stop your thoughts. So this is basically what retreat is for people who wants to have more time to practice meditation and mindfulness.
Okay. Okay, more time to practice mindfulness and practice. Okay. Then and what about for myself now? Presently, I'm no longer working, so I stay at home and I cook for my family. And in between cooking, I will sit down for meditation. So just want to check with Ajahn. So staying at home and practice, do we actually need to go for retreats?
You have to decide for yourself whether you need it or not. If you think you can practice at home, then you don't need to go to retreat. But if you think that staying at home has limitation and doesn't provide you with more progress, then you might want to go to a retreat. Because your practice might become stagnant and you're not moving ahead. You're just stuck with where you are. And maybe going to a retreat might help you, push you more ahead. Okay.
Okay, so like going for a retreat, it can help to instill the self-discipline to push us further in our practice.
Yes, it depends on which retreat you go. Some retreat let you be alone and you have to discipline yourself. Some other retreat they will still have schedule for you to do group practices. So it depends which different retreat have different ways of teaching the student who attend the retreat. In the place where I stay, this is an individual retreat and no one is there to guide you or push you. You have to be your own guide, your own pusher.
Oh, I see. So if let's say if there's no teacher to guide me in the retreat, then does it make any difference with staying at home, practice on our own?
No, the teacher is something that is apart from the retreat. The retreat is the conditions of the place you practice. It's more quiet, more secluded. But teacher, you can learn like right now. You can teach from online or anything like that. So it is not important that you have to have a teacher at the retreat. It depends on which retreat you go to. Some retreat have teacher who will guide you, push you. But my retreat, you have to do it yourself, DIY. But if you have any question, then you can come and, like Mittal, he came here and spent 2 weeks with me. Most of his time, I never talk to him. I might talk to him during the morning meal for briefly 5 minutes or so if you have some questions. But most of the time, he's alone doing his practice. Because if you're going to a retreat, you don't want to really ask questions. Because by asking questions, you keep thinking. The goal for a retreat is for you to stop thinking.
Oh, okay. Main purpose is stop thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Ajahn, my second question is regarding just like you were mentioning about ordination is like climbing a mountain. But I remember the Buddha mentioned that for an ordained bhikkhu, we can actually rope and disrobe 7 times. So meaning that if we find, let's say if I ordain, I find that, oh, I'm still not, say I still not ready, so I can disrobe, and then back to the householder. Then after the householder, then I decide to ordain again. So the Buddha has actually given the allowance of seven times for a male follower. So is it still holds for in today's context?
I don't know. I think this is something you have to take it on an individual basis. The more time you disrupt, then the likelihood of you achieving the goal is becoming less and less, because you are not determined enough. You're too soft. When you run into difficulties, you give up.
I was also actually wondering why the Buddha give this so-called seven times for bhikkhu to ordain this.
I never heard of this sutta before, so I cannot really answer. He said 7 days, 7 months, or 7 years. If you don't achieve in 7 days, you probably will achieve in 7 months. If not 7 months, then maybe 7 years.
Okay.
I'm not. You're talking about the same thing or not?
No, it's different. About for bhikkhu to disrobe, then after that ordain again, then disrobe, and then ordain again, up to a maximum of 7 times.
Maybe he said, if 7 times you cannot do it, then you might as well forget it.
Oh, I think maximum 7 times. After that, no more already. No more chance to ordain.
Yeah, no. If you cannot do it with 7 times, then it's probably impossible for you to do it.
Okay. Then the related questions are: do we need to overcome our sexual desire or cravings before we ordain? Because they are, or do we need, or can we, or do we ordain first and then slowly try to so-called eliminate and overcome our sexual desires?
Well, sexual desire is like an obstacle to your advance. So if you cannot go across this obstacle, then you won't be able to advance any further. So it doesn't matter whether you ordain or not ordain. If you're interested in this path, you have to be able to overcome this sexual desire. Okay.
Okay. So it need not necessarily say we need to overcome this sexual desire, then we become then we go for ordination.
Well, if you cannot overcome, then when your sexual desire overwhelms your mind, then you have to disrobe because you want to go sleep with somebody. But if you can overcome or deal with it, calm it down, then you won't need to disrobe. You may not be able to get rid of it permanently yet, but at least you can stop it from time to time by the strength of your mindfulness. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay, B. Ravin from Thailand.
Hi, good evening, Ajahn. Just continuing on the topic of ordination. I was just doing as a reflection just now. Isn't it taking the mind on holiday? Because sometimes we work, we take leave, we take our body on holiday. So taking going on a retreat or just taking the 8 precepts is kind of like giving the mind a chance to rest and not think about things. Is that the right way to look at it?
No, it's more like going to a boxing ring to face your enemy. Because your defilement will start to kick you when you start to be alone. Your defilement, your craving will become stronger and more intense. So you have to fight with your mindfulness or wisdom in order to be able to contain your cravings. So it's not on a holiday. Holiday, you go on a carnival cruise or something like that.
So it's actually training the mind to overcome the
it's going to
obstacles.
It's going to battle. You're going to battle when you go on a retreat, because you cannot do any things that you used to be able to do when you're not in a retreat. You can watch TV. You can eat anytime you want. You can sleep anytime you want. Sleep as much as you want. Eat as much as you want. Go places, do anything you want to do. But when you go to a retreat, you are locked in. You're like putting into a cell and face your enemy, your inner enemy.
Yeah, I was just thinking about, yeah, I mean, now I realize that
because you've never been on a retreat before. So you think it's a holiday.
Not for a long time. The last time I was on a retreat was 6-7 years ago. But I mean, the concept is the same, as in the reason we go on retreat is because if we stay at home, there's too many distractions. That's why we have to go somewhere else where we can really seclude ourselves from the world.
That's right. And less defilement, because distraction are the thing that cause you the defilement to come alive, to come on. So if you live in seclusion in the mountain or in the forest, you don't see things that can stir your defilement, like if you are in the city. Or even at home, your house is surrounded by all sensual objects. Your television, your refrigerator, your bed, everything is geared for your sensual pleasure.
Yes, it is, unfortunately. Now I understand why Thanajan, you mentioned the importance of taking the 8 precepts, at least on observance day. I was contemplating that and thinking maybe I should try that out. Maybe it could be the start of trying to erode all the sensual objects that's surrounding me.
Yeah, there's a retreat in southern Thailand. I think they opened for international meditators, and they have an empty room with a hard bed for you to sleep. That's all that's all there is in the room. And I think you eat once a day or something like that. And the rest of the time you do meditation. Do you think that's a holiday?
No, like an adventure to overcome. Yes,
okay.
Yes. Just one more question. I was, when I do meditation, I sometimes get to reflect upon having a desire not to be reborn again. Is this bad desire, or this is something that's good because it will keep us, meditating more and more to get rid of the defilements that bring us back to rebirth?
It depends on the reason behind thinking about it. Maybe just thinking about it just to make you feel good, or really see the suffering in being reborn. So it depends. Sometimes your defilement can trick you to think, oh, being reborn is not good, but it doesn't reflect on your attitude to rebirth. You might just think just for the sake of thinking to make you feel good. Or you think because you truly believe that birth is not good. So it depends on, I don't know. It's good, generally it's good to think not to reborn if you think rebirth will bring you hardship and suffering. Because once you start to born, once you're born, you have to struggle to stay alive. You have to breathe for the whole of your lifetime. You cannot stop breathing any day, any second. So it depends on, sometimes you might think about intellectually, then it might not have much effect. But if you think of it really emotionally, like the Buddha, when he saw an old man, sick man, and dying man, and he really see himself being in that position. You have to see yourself in those positions before it really have an impact on your mind and an impact on your decision. If you don't want to reborn seriously, then you don't want to continue on what you do right now. If you're serious about not wanting to be reborn, then you must start thinking about giving up your job, thinking about doing more practice, preparing yourself for eventually taking the ordination path. But if you're just thinking about it, then let it be. So, not follow up on your thinking, and it doesn't mean anything. So I couldn't answer your questions when you asked me because you didn't tell me enough of your thought. You're serious about thinking or not? If you're serious, then it's good. Yeah. If you're not serious, just think about it, but you don't follow up on your thought, then it doesn't mean anything.
I think Thanajan, you still answered my question. I think now I understand. It depends on how I see it. It's not about what, it's about how.
Yeah.
So
when you look at the Buddha example, the Buddha saw an old man, a sick man, and a dead man, and a monk. And this have impact on his mind. He sees himself eventually he'll be an old man, a sick man, and a dead man. So he said, this is not what he wants to become. So he wants to escape this. And the path of escape is becoming a monk. Or maybe you haven't thought that far yet.
Well, no, I haven't.
You haven't thought it through, the whole process.
Yeah, I think my understanding is still a very shallow level. It's not intellectually deep enough to really penetrate the mind. So I think that's something that I need to continue to work on.
Yeah, keep constantly contemplating on the sick, getting old, getting sick, and death, and death. One day it will have an impact on you.
Yes, I realize that thinking now and thinking when it really happened to us is two very different situations. And I know that I need to somehow face a situation that really puts me there and then test the mind whether it will react or not, because just saying it now doesn't prove that I know anything.
Go to hospital, visiting sick people, go into cemeteries to watch the people in the grave. Because you're removed from this reality, you're only thinking about it. Doesn't have strong enough impact as if you're actually seeing it yourself. Be a volunteer with the rescue team when they go and help carry a dead body, and when there's accident. Why don't you try to join the team on your day off? Instead of going to a movie or doing something for sensual pleasure. Why don't you go look for the truth of suffering? Join the rescue team. When there's an accident and they have to go retrieve bodies or send people dying to the hospital. Then you can really see the thing, the real thing, not just something you think about or imagine.
Yes, put ourselves in a real situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try baby steps, at least when I meditate and I have pain in the legs, I try not to move. I try to think that, okay, I have to live with it. I should not have aversion to it. And I think that's just one starting point for me, at least in terms of not being aversion to the pain.
Right, at least you know what you have to do, and gives you a goal to.
I mean, sometimes if I suddenly have a stomach ache or I suddenly have pain, if I have enough mindfulness, it will immediately tell me, don't get upset. This is normal. But if I don't have mindfulness, then there's a reaction.
That's right. Good. Yeah.
So I will keep practicing and to take Thanachan's advice. Thank you.
Okay. Eugene from Taiwan.
Good evening, Ajahn. When I do sitting meditation practice, in my mind, I have a kind of desire want changing to walking meditation. But when I do walking meditation just a while, then I want turn back to sitting meditation. So I want to ask, how can I overcome of this kind of situation or this kind of desire?
Well, you just have to tell yourself, if you sit, you're going to have to sit until you can no longer sit before you go walking. And once you start walking, you keep walking until you can no longer walk before you sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let your desire be the one to dictate your walking or sitting. Let the situation dictate your. When you sit and you no longer can sit anymore, then you walk. When you keep walking until you no longer can walk, then you sit.
My question is, in meditation, we cannot indulge pramada but we also cannot self-suppress it. So when meditation training, it's difficult to distinguish what what kind of mind is indulge, indulge, pramada in Bali, and another kind of is oppressive or self-suppressed. So how to distinguish both of them?
I don't quite understand your question yet.
Just like the first question, because I'm not easy to know. I feel lazy or I want to push myself because lazy is not good.
So you have to set up a time limit. Walk for 30 minutes, sit for 30 minutes. And if you find that you can do longer, then increase it to 1 hour sitting, 1 hour walking. Keep increasing the time. If you want to advance.
Okay.
So you can use the time as the one to determine how long you should sit and how long you should walk.
Okay, I will try first.
Okay.
Then let's see. Thank you,
Yeah.
Pa Ajahn.
All right. Okay, Sri and Czech from Vancouver. You're not actually from Vancouver, isn't it? You're in
Hello.
suburb of Vancouver.
Coquitlam, Ajahn.
Is that the community, the name of the community? Or it's a town or what?
City.
City.
It's
Yeah.
east of Vancouver.
It's part of the greater Vancouver, huh?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
LA.
Metro Vancouver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't you know.
Oh, it's like every big city. Big city, they have, you know, they have their own towns. You know. In Bangkok, we have so many different small towns congregate together.
Oh.
Yeah, not as big. We are in a smaller city. It's not the. It's a quieter city. We are on the mountain, like half of the mountain. Like
How
we're
far
on,
away from the city center where you stay, where you are?
45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah. So we are like more on the mountain. Like we are I think halfway up on the mountain. We are colder. Yeah.
Okay. So
And
yeah, closer to nature.
yeah, and our school is on a farmland. It's very secluded. It's quite a secluded school with a huge farmland and a background of a mountain with a mountain background. So we are in a farm community with farmers and yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
It's more rural than it's not urban. It's more rural. Huh?
More rural, yeah. Yeah. It's a nice place for walking meditation actually, because it's very this like a nature, yeah, quite close. It's very natural. Quiet, very quiet.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Then Ajahn, when one like practicing or reciting Buddho, does it satisfy the right effort in the noble factors?
If you can stop your thought from thinking, yes. But if you recite and you still keep thinking with your recitation, then it's useless. You know, the goal is to stop your mind from wandering, thinking about this, thinking about that. You have to force it to stop thinking, really, and just to focus on what you do, focus on your mantra.
So meanings like if one can stop the thinking, that will be considered as the right effort.
That's right, because when you can stop thinking, you'll find your mind become empty and light and peaceful and happy. Even when you haven't yet reached that meditation, when you haven't yet meditated, your mind will start to be calm and not restless as before. Not restless, not agitated. It's normal.
Okay.
And it will make your meditation easy when you start to meditate, because you won't have much thought to deal with, to get rid of.
Okay.
The goal is to be able to meditate eventually and enter into jhana. That's the final destination, really, for developing mindfulness, is to get your mind to jhana. And that's right effort. Once you get to jhana, then that's the right effort. in order to do this, you have to be alone and maintain continuous mindfulness. Not ever allow your mind to wander about, go thinking about the past or the future or about anything. You have to be free from work, because if you're working, then you have to think about your work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Tanja.
How about you? Any question?
Ajahn, I wrote it down. I don't want to misquote you, but on the Q&A on just the past Q&A session, I think Liberty Lee asked you that most culture promotes more population to support the economy. Do you think this is why Buddhism are not as desired as other religions? And Ajahn, you said that Buddhism is against the defilement, and the minds of all beings are under the control and influence of defilements. So it's not easy for people whose mind under the control of defilements to approach Buddhism. And only those who have less defilements, who are able to experience the grasp of defilements, are able to connect to Buddhism. I didn't really get that one. The able to grasp, the able to experience the grasp of the defilements. Like, are you talking about like able to experience like how defilement affect us? Like,
Now, when you are being held by your defilements, you're not free to go explore something different. Your defilement will keep telling you to go to a movie, to go to a party, and to go look for sensual pleasures. So to you, if you are under this, then you will see no need for religion. People don't see any need for religion, so long as they can pursue their sensual pleasure. It's only when they are somehow condition makes them not being under the push of your defilement, and you have time to maybe look around, and see, what am I doing? What have I got so far? What have I done? What did I get from what I did? And then you say nothing. When you start to look at, I didn't get anything. Everything I did is all gone. And what left for me is just loneliness, especially when you're suddenly left without anything, And maybe that's the time for you to be able to think, if you have enough wisdom to think, is there anything else I can do besides, doing what I've been used to doing? And you might be interested in philosophy, in religion, or whatever. But if you're constantly under the control of defilements, you'll be constantly locked with the the pursuit of sensual pleasure. So you won't really have any time. You're working to get money. Once you have money, then buy things to make you happy. So this you'll be involved in this process until one day something happened, like you become bankrupt or something, or you lost someone you like, you love, and you run into a speed bump, and then it causes you to stop thinking, what have I been doing all this time? What did I actually get, And you might think, is this the way it is? Or the way it should be for me? Like the Buddha, he ran to a speed bump, he saw the old man, sick man, and dead man. He said, this is what's gonna happen to me. Even if I succeed becoming an emperor, still have to get old, get sick, and die. Then this you are temporarily released from the crutch of your defilement, your delusion. Reality start to sink into your mind. The truth of anicca start to sink into your mind. Then this can lessen the grip of your defilement on you, because you have broken part of the delusion already. You have to drill a hole in your delusion, so the light of reality start to penetrate into your mind. When you see that, you see anicca, you see the truth of existence. So this is what will help you release from your control of your defilement. The more you reflect on the truth of anicca, of impermanence.
You said drill a hole, so you have to you make the hole bigger. So
by constantly thinking about it more and more. The Buddha said we should contemplate on once being born, we are subjected to aging, sickness, and death, and separation from the ones we love. And keep reminding yourself every day and several times a day, as much as possible, so you don't forget. See. As soon as you stop, the hole has been covered by the delusion, so no light can come through. So you have to keep opening up the hole bigger and bigger by constantly contemplating on the nature of the impermanent nature of life.
Wow, we really like that one. The whole, and then the light is the wisdom, like the light of wisdom.
Then you would like to go study religion or Buddhism or whichever you find will give you the answer. Eventually you'll come to Buddhism, because not only Buddhism gives you the complete answer, gives you the problem and also gives you the solution to the problem.
Gives you the also give you the solution. Gives you the, what do you mean give you the problem?
The problem is anicca. Other religion teach you about anicca, about dukkha, but they don't give you the solution, which is anatta.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Okay, understand why people have to come to Buddhism eventually, because they give the complete answer, not just half of the answer. They're given the question, but they're not given the solution. That's why we have many Westerners coming and ordained as monks in Thailand. They were Christian before, they have other religion before in their home country, but the religions could not answer the question.
Yeah.
Why do I have to suffer? Why do I have to suffer when I have to get old, get sick, and die? How am I going to stop this suffering? So when they start reading the Buddha's teaching, the Buddha says, yes, you just have to understand anatta. In order to understand anatta, you have to practice the Noble Eightfold Path.
Wow.
Okay.
Thank you, Tajahn.
All right, next, Gary from Singapore. Gary, are you listening?
Good evening, Ajahn. Yes, I'm just listening, and happy to be learning. No questions for me.
Okay. Belinda, also from Singapore.
No questions.
No question. Okay.
But
Evie,
I just want to let you know that I'm still inside the boxing ring. But I
you
guess
are, you're in the boxing ring right now?
and not so bad because the opponent is not so strong. But they are hiding somewhere. They can come out anytime. So
Okay.
that including that, like you say earlier discussion, like distracting ourselves with things, or the mind wants to think or wanted to be in a comfort zone. It's also the defilement that is different type, not necessarily like the angry types. So they are
Okay.
a lot of. But Tanja, I want to ask you about karuna.
Karuna, compassion means compassion. When you see somebody suffer, you want to help. You see poor people, you see sick people, and they need help, then you want to give them the help they need. This is what we call karuna.
What about self-compassion?
Well, this we already have. We eat because we have self-compassion. We sleep because there's no need to teach self-compassion. It's the opposite that we need to teach ourselves, because we tend to be selfish. We're too selfish already. Over selfish can cause suffering also. Like the discussion about worrying about getting old, getting sick. This is over self-compassion already. Too much compassion on yourself can also be can be cause of suffering on you.
So if it's not careful, then it turn out atta become very strong, self. That.
Okay.
Thank you, Tanja.
Okay. Evie, today we have about 16 people from Medan came to the temple today.
Wow, so many.
But they didn't know you. I didn't ask, but
Absolutely don't know me lah, Ajahn. I am sick today, Ajahn. But this is normal because the body is the nest of disease, right?
yes, and the mind is not sick, right? The mind happy.
But I see when this body is sick, it's hard to meditate, Ajahn.
That's right, because your mind is not strong enough, yes. But if your mind is strong, then it can rise above the sickness of the body, will not be disturbed by the sickness of the body. But if you are not yet advanced, you'll be disturbed by the sickness, and you find it hard to meditate.
And I feel a little lazy because of this sickness. I feel lazy to meditate. But it's okay, Ajahn.
It's okay.
And I have a question. When I was in the Penang market, I met a monk on arms round in the market. I gave food to the monk. Then when I entered the market, I saw the big billboard hanging in the market containing "Beware of bogus monk." That means it's fake monk. So I was surprised that something like that happened here. Then I came out of there. It was true. I saw many monks, maybe 5 monks walking on arms round in the market, but no one wanted to give food. This condition was set. So if we give food to the fake monk, is the merit created the same as giving to the real monk?
The merit of giving is the same, whether you give to a dog or to a real monk or a fake monk. Because you give it out of compassion. You want to help that person have food to eat. So it doesn't matter who you give. But the result from your giving can be good or bad, depending on who you support. If you support bad people, then you're supporting bad people to go do bad things. If you support good people, then you're supporting good people to go do good things. This is another result separate from the merit you make from giving. So you have to understand there are two separate consequences that you get from that happen, that appears when you give food or give something to people. On your own part, it makes you feel happy to be able to help someone, to relieve the suffering. It doesn't matter who, you can give it to a dog, to a fake monk, or to a real monk. This is the same thing, regardless. But the thing that you're supporting might be different. If you're supporting a dog, then the dog can only do so much. If you support a fake monk, then you support the fake monk to continue going being a fake monk.
Yeah.
If you support a real monk, then you're supporting the real monk to continue to be a real monk. So it depends on, this is different. So you have to study the person that you are helping, whether you're helping a good person or a bad person. But if it's on a humanitarian ground, then it doesn't matter, because everybody, good or bad people, needs to eat. Then you can then separate this from the. In case of emergency like flood, people are hungry. You cannot say, I only want to give to good people, or I don't want to give to bad people.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't care. I just do with my heart. Okay, this is
just out of compassion and just it. But also you have to think of the consequence of your action, that you are supporting, or you are helping bad people to go do bad things to other people or not. This also you have to consider.
I think if I give to the fake monk, it doesn't matter, because that fake monk also need to eat.
Right, if you think on a humanitarian ground, yes, everybody needs food.
Maybe if he is full, he can give to his family or somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that.
It's like you're giving to beggars.
Yeah. But beggar not have sila, Ajahn. Only the monk have sila.
Fake monks don't have sila either. Once they are fake, they break the precept already.
Yeah, I mean it's the precept.
Okay, we hope you get well soon. Have to move on. Sulan, next, Sulan from Singapore.
Oh, hello, Ajahn. Nice to see you again.
Speak louder. Speak louder.
Oh, Ajahn, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, nice to see you again. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, it's good to hear. Oh, I have a question this week. Yeah, actually, yesterday there was a cockroach that I spotted in the house. Then after that, I got quite scared. I alerted this to my family member. So my family member went to extinguish it with the insect spray. Can you hear me?
What is your question?
Okay. Maybe I change to a place with signal. Me? Hello?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Ajahn, I wanted to ask that like yesterday, like I spotted a cockroach in the house. Then afterwards, I alerted my family member. Then my family member extinguished the cockroach with insect spray. Then
Yes.
I feel very
bad. You feel bad.
Well, I feel very bad about it. Yeah.
Well, if you have no intention, it's not breaking the precept yet. If you don't have any intention for them to kill the cockroach, but you should learn it. You should learn it. Use it as a lesson to tell you next time. Don't tell them anything.
Then what should I do? Because I also scared to go near the cockroach. And I hope the cockroach will go away from the house. Then like but the cockroach is like kind of just staying there on the spot. And
Just
now
leave it. Just leave it alone. Just let it be.
Well, then will it cause like a whole cockroach infestation if I leave it be?
You only see one, it's not gonna be infestation. You're paranoid. Start to work on your mind, really.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Wait till you see 10,000 of them before you start to worry about it, okay? You only see one.
Yeah, I only see one. But because like in the past I had a cockroach infestation in the house before. Like I saw like baby cockroaches. Then I pretend I never see. I quickly hide in my room. Then more and more baby cockroach in the house. And then at first they are scared to come out when people are around. Then after that they got more rampant. They even come out and move about when people are around. So I was kind of scared that it will happen again.
So what did you do last time?
Yeah, last time my family members, they will scold me, say, I see the cockroach but never go and like hit them or like, yeah. Then in the end we had to call the cockroach the how you call that, the pest controller.
Okay.
Yeah. Then yeah, I feel very bad about it.
So either way you feel bad. If you don't do anything, you feel bad. If you tell somebody to get rid of them, you feel bad. So how you gonna do? Which one you want to choose then? Better feel bad without killing them, right? Or feel bad because you kill them.
Better not kill them.
Okay. So you have two choices. You have to decide which one you want.
But then like for example yesterday, did I then cause like the death of the cockroach?
Well, if you have no intention, it's not considered it's your fault for somebody to kill them. But if you find out that by telling people about them and cause them to kill, and next time you just don't have to tell them. You can tell the cockroach to go high. Go away, go high.
Will they listen to me?
Or you can use a little, a stick or something to chase them away.
Okay. Is that how Ajahn you chase them away?
I catch them with my bare hand.
Wow.
I first befriended them first. And when they feel that I'm friendly, they come toward me. And when they're close to my hand, I just grab it and then take it out, put it outside the room.
Wow.
They don't hurt you, they don't bite you or anything.
Oh. So brave of you. I just found it so scary. I remember got one time I saw like the cockroach this big with wings.
Yeah, you're much bigger than them.
Yeah, but
the cockroach should be afraid of you more than you should be afraid of the cockroach.
yeah, but it was like flying, and then I went into hiding in the room, like from like nighttime, 9 p.m. until the very next morning. I couldn't sleep, and that's so scary. Yeah, then in the next morning, in the day, then I dared to like try to open my door and use the toilet.
Yeah, you don't have mindfulness. If you have mindfulness, you can control your fear.
Oh, with mindfulness, then I won't be scared of
No,
cockroach.
you want the cockroach. You just need to be neutral. You just need a fearful or little. You just just merely knowing.
Knowing that they are there.
Yeah, that's all. Then you can use wisdom to decide what to do with them. Can you catch them and put them away? If you cannot, then you might have to leave them alone.
Okay. I think I can try to leave them alone from now. Thank you so much, Ajahn. Yeah. Thank you.
Next, คุณนรศักดิ์พูดภาษาอังกฤษ Can you speak English? นรศักดิ์
Yep, good morning, Ajahn.
Where are you from?
Namaskar, Ajahn. Yeah, we have been following Ajahn for a while now. My sister in Canada, she listened to Ajahn and practice meditation also. And I have been listening to Ajahn preaching Dhamma. It sure does help me a lot in terms of make me calmer and before I speak, I have to like think first to make sure that my word doesn't hurt anybody or harmful to anybody. It definitely changed me quite a bit. And thank you to Ajahn so much. And
you should thank the Buddha. You should thank the Buddha. It's all from the Buddha. I'm just a messenger. I'm bringing you his messages to you.
Well, thank you to the great messenger. You're a great messenger, which is better than any messenger around, which is fast and precise.
Are you staying in Canada also, or are you in Thailand?
No, I'm in USA and Virginia.
Oh, Virginia.
I have been here a while, and last time my sister introduced me to your Dhamma, and then I've been listening, but I haven't gone to the Zoom because of time difference, and right now actually I'm at work.
I see.
But I try to listen more. Sometimes I listen from Facebook and YouTube.
You can watch it later on. You can watch it later on also.
Yes. Like I told Ajahn before that last time he came to the Zoom, right now I'm 63 years old, and I born Buddhist, and it took me a while to realize the word of Dhamma. Took me probably when I was 61 that I really understand.
Yeah, we took Buddhism for granted in Thailand. You were born with Buddhism, so you thought you were Buddhist automatically.
Right.
Yeah. Good. You have to study the Buddha's teaching in order to know what Buddhism is really about.
Yes. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. You have no question?
Not right now, just that's it.
Okay. Go to Aroka. Aroka from the Netherlands.
Sadhu teacher, do you listen me well?
Oh yeah, always. I can hear you good.
Okay, thank you. I bought a new set now. I
Yeah,
think
sounds
it's
very
more
good. Very normal now. No echo,
Yeah.
no vibrations.
Yeah, and also I learned that when we quit I want to share it, that when we quit the Facebook also pump out another screen behind that's still going on. So we have to close it twice. I don't know if it happened to everybody, but to me, always I have to close and the Facebook, and then it pop out another screen. I have to close it also.
Hmm. Okay, you got anything to say or ask?
Yeah, that I'm very pleased to join your meetings, and that establish my energy so I can going on with my studies and on lonelies, and well, I don't really feel lonely. I feel better when I don't have connections outside, and but it's nice to it's kind of recharge the energy to meet you. And okay, I noticed that I switch from Anapanasati to the sound of silence.
Yes.
And sorry. And we wake up with the sound of red on. And in the beginning, it's because Anapanasati is from touch, you feel the top of the nose until the whole body is anesthesia until it disappears, more or less. And then, but with the sound of silence, you can do the also focus on the sense of hearing. And,
Yes, when your sound, when your mind is silent, it means you're not thinking. See?
It's like more or less like tuning. Huh? I find out that, because then you don't know which ear you're gonna listen to, you know. So then I go to the middle, and then it's like it look like sounds like tuning. It's like a high pitch sound.
As long as you don't think, that's the goal of your mindfulness. If your mind is quiet, then it means you're not thinking.
It's much easier.
Then you can hear the sound of silence.
Yeah, it's much easier. It's more natural.
Because normally we keep listening to our thoughts all the time.
Yeah, it come back, but it's more natural. I can stand it without that I have to say no to other interference. But what I noticed also is that when you and that's a progression. When you are completely immersed on this, then the feelings start to disappear also, and then I start to imagine, okay, and now you're gonna, if you listen to nothing, you're gonna watch nothing also. You feel nothing, you listen nothing, you feel nothing, so what comes up must be watching nothing. Nothingness.
Okay. Anything else?
No, sir. Just thank you very much for your.
Okay.
Maybe later.
Okay, fine. We'll go to Facebook now for some more questions, if there any.
Yes, there are 4 questions from Facebook and YouTube, Ajahn. The first question from Paul Liang Soon. How to meditate when facing separation? Thank you.
It's good to meditate when you're alone. You don't meditate when you're with somebody. So you need separation to meditate. You just sit down, close your eyes, and watch your breath when you're alone, when you're separated. Then nobody will disturb you.
Next questions from Martin. Hi, Ajahn. Could you explain what exactly mindfulness is and how to use it during the day when going about activities? Thank you very much.
To focus on something, one object, either can be your body or a mantra you recite. This is what we mean by being mindfulness. Actually, it should be maybe translated as being focused or being concentrated. Concentrate or focus on one thing, like your body or your mantra. This will then stop your mind from thinking about other things. And then when your mind becomes empty without thought, then you will find peace and happiness.
Next question from Tae In Hua. Ajahn, how should a lay person practice to break the 10 fetters that bind us in samsara?
Well, you first have to keep the precept first. You have to keep the 8 precepts. And then you also have to develop mindfulness and train yourself in samadhi before you can go and break get rid of the 10 fetters. The getting rid of the 10 fetters is the last step of your practice. So you have to begin with keeping the precepts and train yourself in mindfulness, constant mindfulness, and meditate until your mind becomes completely still, and you have equanimity. Then you can then start study the nature of the fetters, what are they, and how to break them, how to get rid of them. So you're still very far away. You first have to keep the precepts, to meditate, to get into equanimity.
And the last questions from Kun Oi. Do I become too passive? Is it abnormal to not show grief for the death of people? I didn't cry when my parents and my sibling passed away. I have seen dead people since I was young and wish them rest in peace. Thank you.
It's abnormal for normal people, but you're not normal, so it's abnormal. So very few people will don't show any sadness when somebody dies. But whether you ask me if it's wrong or not, it's not wrong. It means you're just not being affected by the death of other people. So it means maybe you have equanimity. Your mind has equanimity, so you don't feel any sadness.
That's all, Thana Ajahn.
Okay, we have some more 30 minutes left. If anybody would like to, Eugene from Taiwan.
Ajahn, we can go to temple, do some merits, and dedicate for dead people. But can we dedicate these merits to the cockroaches who die in our house?
Yes, any dead being you can dedicate, but you have to you only make a small merit. How can you dedicate to so many people?
Yes, because cockroach is too many, hundreds of them, so cannot dedicate for all of them, right?
You have to make a lot of merit. Then you want to dedicate to lots of. Okay. Normally, we only dedicate to one person.
The monk will recite the name of the dead people.
No, you have to the one to be the.
Oh, okay. To cockroaches.
Yeah.
But how about one dog is okay?
Yeah, one dog, one cockroach, one human being is enough. Because what you do is very little. You only have one plate of rice, and you want to give to 10 people. How can you expect them to eat?
I see. Cockroach pass away will return in the samsara different form, or all of them will become.
Yeah, they're like us. They only have different form, physical form now, but the mind is the same. Your mind and the cockroach's mind is the same.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Okay, Minnie from India.
Yes, I have this question.
Will you speak a bit louder, please?
Yeah. I have this question. When I am meditating, sometimes the body gets restless and it is very difficult to sit. And sometimes the mind is not still. It can watch the breath for few seconds or maybe a minute or less, and then goes into defilements or trapped into the state of becoming. So the question is it advisable to push yourself in both these cases?
Well, what the problem is, you don't have much mindfulness there. So you have to develop more mindfulness before you meditate. Try to focus your mind on your body movement all the time. Don't let your mind go thinking about other things. Then when you have stronger mindfulness, when you sit, then this problem will not arise.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lack of mindfulness.
It
Because
happens sometimes, not always.
Yeah, because sometimes you have stronger mindfulness and sometimes you have weaker mindfulness. It depends on your mindfulness.
Okay, all right. So I am actually reading your biography, and so I'm getting a lot of ideas about how to meditate, and where you have written there are two ways. Where once when you experimented with sitting for 6 hours continuously, and how when you would just stand at one spot for some time when you couldn't sit any longer, and so this is very inspiring. And in this case, what happens, sometimes I'm able to sit longer periods of time, like up to 2 hours. So getting inspired by how you could sit for 6 hours, would you recommend if I can start by extending from 2 to 3 hours, or will that help? And also the mindfulness, you mean like in my whole day, I need to be mindful of my body, what I am doing, how I am breathing. That's what you mean?
Yes, that's right. You have to be mindful all the time. Whether you're eating, standing, walking, brushing your teeth, washing your face, always focus on what you do. This will prevent your mind from thinking about other things. So when you meditate, then you can find it easy for you to calm your mind and become still.
So when one decides to comprehend stress?
This is another chapter. You comprehend stress when you get sick, for instance. When you get sick and you notice that your body gets sick and your mind also becomes stressful. And you can then figure out what is causing your mind to become stressful. It's because your mind don't want to get sick. So then you study. See, this is when you say contemplate on stress. Actually, you want to study the nature of stress. What is causing the stress to arise, and how to stop the stress from arising. Once you know the cause of your stress is caused by your desire not to get sick, then you have to then study the nature of your body. Can you prevent the body from not getting sick or not? And then you will see that you cannot stop the body from getting sick. So then you just have to tell yourself you cannot stop your body from getting sick. So to have the desire to not to get sick is useless. It can only cause you stress. So when you see this, then you can stop your desire for not getting sick and accept sickness as part of life. Then you will not be stressful when you get sick. You have to accept that getting sick is part of the body. part of life. This is studying the nature of stress. Stress are caused by your desire for something. And when you cannot get that something, then you become stressful. Even if money, people become stressful because they want money. And when they don't get money, they become stressful. If they get money, then they're happy, right? And when they don't get it, they become stressful. If you don't want to be stressful with money, then you should not have any desire for money. Then you will have no stress regarding money. Okay, these two separate practices. First, you train yourself with mindfulness to calm your mind, to make your mind still, so that you reduce your desire for things. Then when you have stress because of your desire for things, then you can use the wisdom of the Buddha to stop your desire and stop your stress. By seeing that everything is not under cannot fulfill your wish. You cannot fulfill your wish from everything that you want. So if you can find that you cannot get what you want, then you should stop your desire and your wish to get something. If you don't want to be stressful.
Right.
So don't have the desire not to get old, not to get sick, or not to die. This will reduce a lot of stress on your mind. If you can accept aging, you can accept sickness. If you can accept that, then there will be no stress when you get old, get sick, or die. In order for your mind to be able to do this, to accept, you have to calm your mind, to have equanimity. By the practice of meditation, mindfulness, to stop thinking, to still your mind. When your mind becomes still, then you will have equanimity. Then you can accept the truth of life, accept aging, sickness, and death. Okay.
Yes. Thank you so
All right,
much.
we only have about 3 minutes left. Anybody else? Okay. No, you have the last question.
On the subject of meditation, Ajahn, I know that different Ajahn or messenger from different temples, they have different, they're teaching us different way to meditate. Is that, does it matter that which way that to meditate, the end result shouldn't be the same, correct?
That's right. There are 40 ways of meditation. They call 40 Kammatthana. So different teachers have different way of teaching. As far as the samadhi level is concerned, but as far as the wisdom, there's only one way, and that's that of the Four Noble Truths and the 3 characteristics of existence. But with the samadhi, you can use Buddha, you can use watching the breath, you can focus on something, This will achieve the same result. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. I think that's about it for tonight. Okay. Thank you for your participation. I hope this meeting has some benefit for you and help you advance in your practice. In the meantime, please stay safe, stay healthy, mindful, and keep on practicing. And if all goes well, I'll see you all at the same time next week. Thank you and goodbye.
สาธุเจ้าค่ะ
Sadhu, sadhu,
Thank you.
sadhu.
Goodbye.
Bye.